According to Daniel RPK, who is one of the most reliable sources, as of now, he has stated that Daredevil is rumored to appear in Spider-Man 4, and that Daredevil is also going to be having a huge part of the Spider-Man 4 story. And another character that is set to appear will be Ant-Man. So this is some very surprising news. If you guys were wondering what Spider-Man 4 could look like, here is going to be the first few details. Daredevil and Ant-Man will appear. Now, I do want to speak about some certain things regarding this story, right? I want to talk about like some theories that I might have on why these two characters are going to be there, and then just speak about the overall picture of what Sony and Marvel want to do. So first things first, many have been saying that they don't want to see these characters in Spider-Man 4. They want to see a movie that is grounded, street level, a solo Spider-Man film. And I understand that because I do think that one of the most beautiful things that has ever happened to Spider-Man, it was Tobey Maguire's trilogy. That is where many people get their inspiration from, right? Because they were very grounded street level stories, and they want to see the same thing happen to Tom Holland's Spider-Man, which again, I fully do understand. But here's the thing, all of these Marvel phases that we have been going through post Endgame, they have not been so connected. Many have said we don't really feel the connective universe that we once felt before Endgame. And one of the best things that we saw between phases 1, 2, and 3 was that some characters popped up in other characters' films, and we truly felt that connective universe that was being built. And so now the question is, why can't we give Marvel the permission to add characters into Spider-Man 4? And by the time Spider-Man 4 does come out, I don't see why you wouldn't, because it will be very close to the release of both Avenger films. Many industry insiders have also claimed that Spider-Man 4 would be used to build up to either Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars. So I do think that it is mandatory to add Daredevil and Ant-Man. But here's going to be the problem. It is how you do use Daredevil and Ant-Man, right? Because if we use Daredevil and Ant-Man to treat Spider-Man like if he was some child, like how Iron Man and Doctor Strange have been using Tom Holland's Spider-Man and treating him like a child, then there would be a problem, because I think that by this point, Spider-Man should be good on his own. He should not be taught by some other mentor. Spider-Man is his own now, and especially with Tony Stark's Iron Man passing away, Spider-Man has to take the helm. He must be a leader. So if Daredevil and Ant-Man come in and they say, hey, this is not how you do it, kid, you're wrong, you're making mistakes, then yes, that would be a problem. So there has to be a good way and a specific way on how you do incorporate the two characters. So let's go more specific on Daredevil than Ant-Man, because it has been said that Daredevil would be having a bigger part. I think that Daredevil would be the main partner for Spider-Man to stop Kingpin. And the reason why I think that Kingpin would also play a role in Spider-Man 4 is because Daredevil, Born Again, and Echo will release before Spider-Man 4 comes out. And throughout those two films, Kingpin's story will be built by then. And Daredevil would also have a great idea on who he is and what are his intentions. Because remember, in the comics, in the stories, Kingpin is someone who becomes the mayor of New York, or at the very least is trying to be, and then eventually New York ends up being so corrupt because of all of these inside men, and huge crime waves will continue to exist and increase through the city. So you can see that the agenda for Daredevil and Spider-Man in Spider-Man 4 is to stop Kingpin, and ultimately that is the perfect way to have your grounded setup for Spider-Man 4. Just imagine that story between just Kingpin, Daredevil, and Spider-Man, with Spider-Man being the main protagonist. And to be very honest, like, who would not want to see a duo, right? A team up between Daredevil and Spider-Man. That would be insane. There are so many stories that you can tell, and I think that the world, the audience, the fans would fall in love with the bromance that these two characters can build through that film. Like, for example, here's going to be a page from the comics that explains their bromance and what we could see in the film. Spider-Man says, Matt, I'm sorry you had to go through this past year by yourself. Leo Caro, prison, Fisk, and I wish I could tell you who I am, but my secret identity is still alive, and I love you, man. But the way that the past few years have gone for both of us, maybe one day we can sit together in our homes and have nothing but trust. But for now, the world's a dangerous place, so let's go fix that. So again, this is like the most perfect picture to basically explain what we could see in Spider-Man 4 is the bromance, and them also not sharing their secret identity. Because remember how Spider-Man No Way Home ended? Everybody that knew who Peter Parker was Spider-Man had those memories erased, and they no longer know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. They know that Spider-Man exists, but they don't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. But besides that, these two characters and their values, they align, and they have had the same experiences, right? They have to cover their secret identities. It's hard for both of them to live double lives. They have both also lost their loved ones. They sometimes get framed for crimes that they never committed. They're very similar, which is why, again, a story between these two in Spider-Man 4 with Kingpin can very much be built. Now let's move on towards the other character, and that is Ant-Man. With Ant-Man, he's not going to be having such a big role in the film, but there's there's a reason why he's in it, and a very big reason why, and it has something to do with Sony and Marvel. And so look, Sony wants Marvel characters in their films because at the end of the day, all of these movies that we have been watching by Tom Holland's Spider-Man, they're Sony projects. And one of the deals that Marvel and Sony have made is, okay, look, we're going to be sharing you the character for these Avenger films. You guys can show Spider-Man, but remember that we would also like to have your Marvel characters to eventually appear in our Spider-Man films, which is why we saw Doctor Strange in Spider-Man No Way Home, which is why we also saw Iron Man in the first Tom Holland Spider-Man film. And that is why we're also going to be seeing characters like Daredevil and also, again, especially Ant-Man, because there's a bigger play that is being moved here by Sony and Marvel. Let's remember that Ant-Man just finished his trilogy, and in that third film, Ant-Man now knows exactly what it's like to be in the quantum realm, and he met one big bad character, that is Kang the Conqueror. He knows he exists, he met him, he talked to him, he knows his intentions, and one of the things that Scott Lang had by the end of that film was self-doubt. Like, did he truly think that he beat Kang? Let's all remember what Scott Lang said by the end of that film. He said this, and I quote, "We got him. He's not going to get out of the quantum realm." But wait a second. Kang also said that if he did not get out, all these other bad versions of him were coming. Did I mistakenly doom the entire population of Earth? So there is self-doubt. And I do think that because Scott Lang will be carrying that self-doubt, because he might feel that fear in him, he is going to be placed in Spider-Man 4 to tell Spider-Man one thing: a man like Kang the Conqueror does exist. And so what we are really seeing here is Ant-Man keeping Spider-Man up to date to make him understand what's going on outside of New York. What is the bigger picture? What is the bigger threat in the multiverse? And that is what's going to allow Tom Holland's Spider-Man to know more about the multiverse, since he already knows that it does exist, right? Hence No Way Home. Maybe he gets ideas on how to go through different points in time. Maybe Ant-Man has like this weapon or this gadget that lets somebody go through the multiverse. Who knows? I don't know what Marvel and Sony are going to be creating, but all of this is for one intention. It's for Spider-Man to eventually face the villains in the Sony universe, which is what Sony wants. They want that. They want Tom Holland's Spider-Man to eventually go into the Sony universe and go up against Kraven the Hunter or Venom or Morbius, whoever they do want to incorporate into that big film. So two things do come at play, and two goals are met by the end of Spider-Man 4. Point number one is the connective tissue, right? We talked about this before. Spider-Man will know about Kang the Conqueror. He'll know more about the multiverse. You also get the sense that the new Avengers are being built, right? The fact that Ant-Man is telling Spider-Man about these things and about this multiversal threat, it sets up how this team is aligning. And then you see that Spider-Man becomes a leader, because remember, sources have claimed that Spider-Man would be used as one of the front runners and one of the main leaders for the new Avengers to take on Kang the Conqueror. And then point number two, it gives us the explanation on how Tom Holland's Spider-Man eventually does face the villains in the Sony universe. I don't know when that project is going to come out, whether it's 2026, 2027, who knows? But that is going to be the big plan for Marvel and for Sony. They all need to get a bite of this pie. They all want to have some sort of gain in this project. And so let me know in the comment sections down below, what do you think about this story and how Spider-Man 4 is going to be set up? Do you guys like the idea of having Daredevil being included into the story and also with Ant-Man? And do you guys think that maybe Ant-Man would be used for another reason besides speaking to Spider-Man about Kang the Conqueror? Let me know your theories down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.